The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to Paranormal Concept right here on Parasearch UK Radio with your host, Paul Rook.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Paranormal Concept Show. I'm your host, Paul Rook, and tonight joining me in the studio is Kerry Greenaway. Hello, Kerry.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? We've been up to much this week.
I'm working like a dog. That's what I'm doing this week. Yeah, I'm working a lot of hours this week. It's all good though, right?
It keeps you busy. Absolutely. It's always good to stay busy. Yeah. Not too bad. Have you been up to like the weekend? Did you do anything paranormal? Did you go out anywhere? Not anywhere you're on.
Well, where I was on Saturday, Paul. think we were sat in my back garden. Don't really remember it, but that's where we were. Is that paranormal for you? No, it was on Sunday. To be fair, I've started writing a new blog.
Yep.
Which is evolving, is all I can say on that. And then on yesterday, actually, I had a little light bulb moment. So that is going to be coming too. So, yeah, so lots going on over here. But, yeah.
Fantastic.
So, although I'm working really hard, these little pops of paranormal paraphernalia, shall we say, pop up in my brain from time to time.
Yeah, I can imagine a light bulb and it
goes
bing! Microwave. Haunted microwave.
Oh, don't even get me started on the haunted microwave. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, me and the station founder, or the creator. Yeah, we'll leave it with that. The creator.
Here's the creator.
Yeah. Went off to Dickens Festival at the weekend.
Oh, majorly cool.
Yeah, I could have taken my St John ID and got a few duty hours in.
Oh dear.
But we had a look around the cathedral up there, the Rochester Cathedral, and Richard had a wander in the actual keep of Rochester Castle. And yeah, there was loads of people dressed up in Dickensian outfits, and they had the old Victorian firemen up there, and yeah, you would have loved it.
I probably would have done, except guess what I was doing, everybody? I was working like a dog.
So if it's of me working full time for myself, it's like, I could take the day off.
Living the dream.
I'm a consultant, and it's that's what I do on my days.
And then you went cruising down South End Seafront, which I would just like to say is a paranormal event all by itself.
It really calls it cruising, and I think maybe like having a little bit of a drive down there, but it was nice because the sun was out, burning my arm on the side of the window. And,
much better in a convertible, with the sounds rocking.
But Richard doesn't drive a convertible, unfortunately. Not yet. Give it time.
He needs to upgrade.
Absolutely. I did pick a nice car for him, though, and I posted that on Facebook earlier.
I saw that. That's
fully automated one.
Fully automated with a cinema screen, everybody.
Absolutely. So got to be done. But yeah, I mean, going down the seafront, it was quite nice because obviously you get the breeze, and yeah, it was quite a good day out actually.
Southend seafront is actually quite haunted.
Yeah, you got the Kersal down there as well, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. And there was a boat that used to be moored there, which now is in Greenwich, I believe. And can't remember what it's called. Help me out.
It wouldn't be the Golden Hind.
That's the one. Yes, the Golden Hind used to be down there, and that's supposed to be haunted.
Yeah, it's more in London than Greenwich, I think, though.
I know it's on the South Bank near the Clink.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's further into the city than Greenwich. Greenwich has got the Cutty Sark.
Yes, sorry. Yes, my location. See, I'm really good at geography. I'm amazing at geography. I know. Right, no, I know it's on the South Bank because we walked past it when we walked the South Bank.
Yeah, I do remember it as a child being moored in Southend, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
and kids used to clamber, well, they still do, clamber all over it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a proper ye-olde piratey ship. It's not very big.
Yep. It's not, and it was actually used in one of the films, Centurions, the second one, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
The trivia you come out with in regard to films, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It was used in Centurions because it had a very piratey type of storyline to it. And the girls of Centurions had won a boat. I can't remember exactly what one they were on, but
I wonder why you was watching Centurions.
Because it was a film, quite frankly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. It was a film, everybody.
No, I do. I enjoy the Centurion movies, and even the old ones, the 1960s.
I was going to say, I remember. Anyway, we're not even started on our topic yet. We're nearly 10 minutes in. We're talking about Centurions now, everybody. I like the old black and white ones.
Yeah, but the old black and white ones are the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Tales of Centurions and the Great Train Robbery. That was a good one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to topic, shall we?
Absolutely. Right, so
I'm wondering how you're going to sequentia this into, how you're going to
we
smoothly link it in.
We're going to make a huge jump from Centurions to Superman movies.
Oh, well done. 10 out of 10.
Tonight's topic is nothing to do with Centurions. It's all about superhumans.
Well done. I like it.
We just thought that there's so many stories out there of people with superhuman strength, and I remember quite a few years back a little girl in Russia. She had X-ray vision. So I thought let's sort of delve into that and see if there's any more that we can find. I found quite a lot of them, to be fair.
I was actually amazed at what you found. In fact, some of the things you found, I went and double checked because I was like, no way! And I went and checked some of these, and yeah, they're a thing. That's all I can say. See, I'd heard of the ones where like Magnetic Man and X-Ray Girl and people that can eat weird stuff and stuff like that. But I'd kind of just think they're weird people. She says.
See, they could be the next step in human evolution.
Well, a species is generally always evolving until it hits a point where it fits perfectly its environment.
Yeah.
So a species will do that.
I did sort of find two types of superhuman, if you will, for want of a better word, really. You had like people that had trained their bodies to deal with extraordinary feats, like, for example, the Spider-Man. Is it the Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
The human spider, who is the guy Alan Roberts. He's one of the best rock climbers and urban climbers on the planet, and he basically is the guy quite recently that climbed the Sydney Tower, the Eiffel Towers. And he just does it all without ropes, and he just goes, So it's that sort of person that we found. And also, you've got people with medical conditions that have given them superhuman, what we class as superhuman abilities. We're going to just go through a few of them now. So off you go, Kerry, just to prove that you've read the research.
Okay, well, let's take it back to the beginning, shall we? I don't even know where to start. Well, let's have a look at I'll tell you the one that I found most fascinating out of all of them was the blind man.
Okay.
Now, he makes this clicking noises with his mouth or snapping their fingers.
Yep.
So what it is it's basically echolocation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sonar, isn't it, I think?
So what they're doing is they're training themselves to an ability that can do basically the same as bats, which is why bats don't hit things. And he can map his environment. This is what I found. This is one of the ones I went and actually checked because I was like, no way. And but this is a thing. This is a real thing.
Yeah.
And I think this is astonishing, actually.
Yeah. Daniel Kish, he lost both his eyes to cancer as a baby and taught himself the technique and has shared his knowledge with hundreds of blind people around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to the point, now this is astonishing because I wouldn't even do this with sight, let alone without sight, right? Mountain biking.
Yep.
Right? Playing basketball, running. If you haven't got sight, when you think about that, if you're blind as a bat and you can't see, as I say, they're quite daunting, some of those, for me anyway, with sight. Do you know what I mean? So to do it without sight and be confident to do it in your own ability and what you're perceiving, that is astonishing.
Absolutely, and yeah, especially with the mountain biking, because he's got to obviously keep on the road or the path. One slight mishap and he's like splattered all across the side of the mountain.
It's a mess, right? That's quite messy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
if you can make those sort of noises and pick out where the path is without actually seeing down, surely it might eradicate the fear factor.
But he's getting that from making this echolocation noises. Do you know what I mean? He's able to, and he's training other people. He said it's easier to train children than it is adults because they have no self-imposed restrictions in place.
Yeah. Right?
So it's easier to train children to use this ability. But I didn't even know this was an ability until today.
Again, this is sort of quite indicative of the like the Spider-Man person. It's self-taught. It's him trained himself to come up with this ability. So it's not like a medical. I suppose the only medical condition involved was the blindness. It is just his coping mechanism that he's taught himself.
But he does say when he had his issue and lost his sight, his parents did not focus on his disability of not being able to see. So they were very open-minded and allowed him to, or as parents, they encouraged him to do to use his other senses rather than focus on the one he's lost, if that makes sense. So as a child, it must have been quite empowering, a different perspective on the condition that he had, which allowed him to develop this. And now he's gone on to transform the lives of blind people across the world. But only 10% of blind people have done this, I will say that, have actually gone on to do this. But then I would imagine that it's something that's very difficult to learn, particularly if you lose your sight as an older person.
Definitely. And I think he's well and truly the real Batman.
It's crazy. When I read about this guy, I was like, oh my God. And it is fascinating. And just, as a person sitting here, now I know I've got the ability of all my senses. To take one of those away and then work out my environment by clicks or snapping my fingers, it's, how can you, do you know what I mean? There's obviously but it shows that the body or the mind and the senses and the body working all together has such phenomenal capabilities if you allow your mind to overcome the disabilities. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it is, and I think most people, especially because we're able-bodied, we see it as a disability. But if you've got that disability, then you've got to try and get into the mindset that it isn't a disability, because it's not. There's ways around things, and it's not.
Yeah, it's overcoming those cultural limitations or those social limitations or those self-imposed limitations, isn't it? And that's it is one of the hardest things to do, is to overcome those. It's crazy. But when we was looking into this, you can't discount the evolutionary process that the body is going through, or the species is going through as well. I mean, you've only got to go back and look at milk. There was a point where humans couldn't tolerate cow's milk. It was only because somebody ended up with a mutation that allowed him to drink cow's milk that then sort of like spread through the species. And then all of a sudden over the millennia of humans, we now can drink cow's milk.
Exactly, yeah. And at one point, lightning turned it sour.
We looked into that and we discovered that it could, but only back in today, not now. But
this, because we store it in metal cases now and
we pasteurise it. We don't drink it like fresh from the cow. So when we look at mutations within humans, they can transpire in many different ways, can't they?
They can, yeah, definitely. I mean, as I said to you, there's two types of superhuman abilities. The ones that are self-taught, and then you've got like people that have been born with different like genetic conditions, and yeah, I mean, there's quite a few of them. I'm just trying to quickly look through some of the research. There's a guy or a young child in the US, and he's got a genetic disorder that usually results in physical frailty, but in him it's given him super strength. And his name's Liam Hoekstra, and he's got a rare genetic condition in his body that doesn't produce protein myostatin, which inhibits growth, muscle growth for individuals or animals, and it normally deteriorates the muscles. But for some strange reason, it's given him like car tossing abilities.
Now there's a phrase.
Tantrums. Cars or Matchbox cars.
He was incredibly strong, wasn't he?
He was, and yeah, he could throw cars around. Yeah, it was just amazing what he could do. It was, yeah, if he, I mean, it was like the Hulk, just without the green skin.
There was a downside to this disorder, though. He has to eat more than normal children. He has to eat a lot more because his body is.
It's the energy, the energy ratio. I would have thought. Obviously, he's using his muscles and overcompensating, so he's using more energy. So he needs to top that up.
He does. Talking of eating.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Another guy, Michael Litato. He was a French entertainer known for eating anything that basically he put in his mouth. Is this the guy that had his stomach stretched?
No.
Okay.
No, this is a different one because he was eating non-consumable foods, so like glass and rubber and metal and stuff like that. And this is the thick lining. He had an abnormally thick lining in his stomach and intestines. Now, this actually made me think about something, right, while I was reading this one. Right, when you're pregnant, right, then your body goes through a hell of a lot of different changes, doesn't it? I was wondering if one of those changes, your stomach lining thickened, which could be why you get like loads of indigestion and stuff like that, because you get a lot of pregnant women who crave weird stuff to eat, like, you know, rubber and metal and glass and stuff, well, you know, weird stuff. I never got that. Mine was just sugar. I may not have been the pregnancy that did that. It might have just been my greed. But I was wondering if that habit, I don't know, it's just a query, shall we say. It was just a questioning thought that maybe that happens in pregnant women, which is why when they get these cravings, I know one woman, she was to eat tarmac.
Yeah, isn't there a woman in the US that eats sofa foam?
Yeah, but I don't know if she does it because she's pregnant or whether she just likes sofa foam.
I think that might have started when she was pregnant. And
so I was wondering if your stomach lining thickens while pregnancy, which is what is... Because this is what this guy is. You know, this Michael Lotito, or Monsieur Mange-Tout, as his stage name was known. I love that. Monsieur Mange-Tout. And, yeah, this is what he had, which is what allowed him to eat weird stuff, like dirt, rocks, metals and stuff, because his stomach lining was so thick.
Yeah, I wonder how that affected his stomach as well. I mean, would his stomach acid eat away through the metal and things? That could be quite painful, I should imagine.
I don't know. I just can't think what it would do to his teeth. I don't know about his stomach. By the time it's got to his stomach.
Well, I'm more thinking the other end, because that could be really painful.
Anyway, let's look at somebody else. Competitive eaters. We see them, those TV programs, Eat All You Can kind of programs. Man versus food, isn't it?
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Obscene, huge platefuls of food that they try and munch their way through. Well, there was a Japanese man called...
Mr. K. We'll go with Mr. K.
He was called Mr. K. No, I'm gonna attempt this, right, everybody? Takeru Kabayashi.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
That's close enough, everybody. Trust me, that's close enough.
Mr. K was short.
Yeah, we'll call him Mr. K. Now, his stomach literally sat lower in his body than normal. So when he ate huge amounts of food, it would it had more expansion room, and his stomach lining had extra elasticity in it, and it just, I don't know, he said he's just had a camera down there and they were just surprised at the elasticity of it. They didn't come up with any reason why he's got it, just what he's got.
Yeah. And again, that would be something in his genetics that's given him that.
Yeah, I would have thought there'd be like some form of mutation for that particular DNA strand or wherever it works, that gave him extra elasticity just in his stomach lining, because he was fine everywhere else. But it doesn't say what weight he was, whether or not it affected his weight. Because if he could literally eat, if his stomach, he obviously probably just didn't get full up, because his stomach's just expanded and expanding. It's not getting to the point where you go, oh God, I'm full, I've eaten far too much, like normal people. If his stomach's just expanding, he could consume huge amounts of food. One wonders, both with Monsieur Mange Tout and Mr. K, whether or not, like you say, how their absorption of that food, how that's affected. Like, because your stomach goes through, it goes to your stomach, it mixes with acid, which breaks it down into enzymes, doesn't it, which gets absorbed into the body, that then goes into the bloodstream, that turns it into fat or proteins or whatever it is that is needed, takes out all the good stuff. The rest of the stuff is then flushed through your bowel, right? The bits it don't want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, I know that's very, very, very basic, everybody, and I probably hasn't used the right terminology there, but that's very basically how your digestive system works. Well, both of these people have got something that's abnormal in their digestive system, so it makes you wonder if it's effective through the entire digestive system or whether or not it is just the stomach, because it's both stomach in these particular incidences. Anyway, these are the things that my brain does. Sorry.
No, it's all good, absolutely. Because as I'm going through the research, I've only got basic snippets and lots of them. So yeah, no, that's fine. It's just a thought process and thought provoking, and that's the point of tonight's show. To be fair, then as we go on, we'll leave the stomach alone for a little while just to digest. Let's go to the hyperphotographic memory.
Yeah, this is interesting, this is fascinating.
Yeah, it was an actress, I think, in the 1970s. She was in Taxi, I believe. Marilyn Henner.
Marilou.
Yeah, and basically she had this hyper photographic memory, which meant that she could literally recite every second of her life. Basically, she remembered every second. So where our memories would just pick out certain things,
most memories have got we've looked at memory before, haven't we? Yeah. And how fallible it can be. How memory is actually very, very fallible. It's not infallible at all. Whereas this is completely different. She's gone completely the opposite extreme. She can remember every single detail of every single day that she's ever lived in her life. I mean, I used to be jealous of my sister, who's got just a photographic memory. She can read a page and she'll remember it. And it's great when you're sitting in exams. Me, I didn't get that gene. Thanks, parents. But that's what she's got. This is the next level. This is like remembering every single detail of every single day of her life.
Absolutely. She's literally only one of 25 confirmed cases of, they call it hyperthymesia.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Which allows her to pinpoint the smallest detail of her life on nearly any given day. And so, it is literally every second that she can recount.
In some ways that could be fascinating. In other ways that could be completely horrifying. If she's had a crap life and she remembers every single little detail, that's not a quality I would want. I like the fact that I can block crap out of my brain. Do you know what I mean? I quite like that bit.
Well, that's it. I mean, with like the normal brain, I'll use the term loosely because I don't think anyone's really normal. We remember. It's almost like our core memories. I'll tell you what it's like. It's like that film Inside Out, the Disney one, where they got little people in your mind. And yeah, you've got your core memories, which makes you who you are. Mm-hmm. Then you've got the memories that are selected that you're going to remember, like, I don't know, like your wedding day, for example, maybe, or birthdays and things like that. So
that's one of those traumatic events that I cut out of my mind.
That's it, yeah. So for some people, they're important days, so people will make the memories and remember those. But then you get the every second memory, which literally gets filed away, and then after a while just gets dumped because you don't need it. You don't need to remember every second. So it stores, so it frees up more memory, more memory capacity.
Oh my God!
Your RAM memory.
But there is a mode of thought that is you never forget anything. You never forget anything. You just have to train your brain to remember it. So if you tell your brain you're just remembering something, yeah, if you train your brain that you're just remembering something, you will recall it.
Okay.
Apparently, top scientists use this method.
I see the favourite method that I use is pen and paper. If I need to remember anything, I'll write it down.
Yeah, I usually forget to pick the list up, though. That's the problem. I remember to write it down. I just remember to take it with me.
And then you lose the list because it's like you put it down somewhere safe, and you can never find a safe place ever again.
Or you go to anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll sidetrack. But no, this memory thing. I mean, when we looked into the Mandela effect, we looked at memory then, didn't we? And we found out that the way they store it, or the way your brain stores memory, isn't actually in like chronological order, as it were. It doesn't sort of like, it doesn't store memory like that. What it does is it associates. So that's why you have different memories associated with a song. So when that song comes on, that brings back a flood of memories because something particularly poignant happened at that. So it's actually emotion linked as much as it is time linked and it's association linked rather than anything else. So this lady hasn't kind of got that. She has got literally the ability to tell you exactly what happened on any given day, and she'll know it. And she says she sees it like a movie, like it's like a movie montage.
Maybe she was hoping for the movie deal.
Well, it depends on the life she had, really, isn't it?
Well, exactly. And then, anyway, right, moving on, we got super flexibility. That's the next one. Mm-hmm. A guy called Javier Botet, and if you've seen his work, he's into horror and stuff. I've lost my train of thought now. He suffers from a genetic condition known as Marfan syndrome, which affects the cognitive tissue throughout his body. And people tend to people with this are usually quite tall, with long limbs and fingers, and have abnormal. I can't even say that word now. Abnormal flexibility. So maybe that guy, the one that's in the world record for being the tallest man alive, maybe that's what he had.
He was quite thick set though, whereas this guy's like quite emaciated, isn't he? He's tall with long limbs and fingers, and he can flex. His body's incredibly flexible, whereas the tallest man wasn't flexible at all. He just was very tall and big.
Okay.
So I think
maybe
this is
Marfan thing.
Yeah, I don't think he had Marfan syndrome, but this again, we see this concept. I mean, mice can do that, can't they? They're incredibly flexible within their skeleton and stuff like skeleton. Certain words I'm very paranoid about, everybody. skeleton is one of those.
And hospitals is another one.
But they can flex there, but they can go through the tiniest gaps, can't they?
They can.
Mice, and this is kind of a little bit what this reminds me of a little bit. I'm not saying he can squeeze himself through gaps, but he's got that ability to flex his body in ways that you wouldn't normally. Normal people wouldn't be able to do without dislocating something.
You'll probably see this a lot more in the animal kingdom because, as you said, you've got the mice. When octopus are the same, or octopi.
But they don't have one of them internal bone structures called a skeleton.
No,
do they?
They can still fit into anything, though, can't they? Literally, if they could put their tentacle into it, that's it. They can squeeze the rest of them through.
You do love an octopi. If it's not Oak Island, it's octopi. He'll bring Oak Island up in a minute. He'll listen, everybody. He'll bring it in. Somewhere there'll be a link.
Snake Island's another one.
Oh, he's on to Snake Island now, everybody. But no, you do see. Yeah, you're right. You do see these things coming into the animal kingdom, but not often in humans.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it might not. I doubt it's the same syndrome or anything, or the same like DNA strand or mutated strand for whatever reason.
No, but it might be down to a chromosome or something.
Abilities. Yeah, I think it's down just to abilities. Because as I said, you get it in like loads of different animals. Cats are the same. If they can put their head through something, they'll be able to get their body through it as well.
Really?
Yeah. If they can get their head through, they can. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Cats. Cats are amazing creatures, but
yeah, I like
anyway.
Cats.
What other ones had you enthralled?
Well, this one I actually really liked. I've got this gene, everybody, is all I'm saying. Ozzy Osbourne. This shocked me, right? His ability to cope with some of the things he's put his body through, apparently, is a mutant superpower of his. Bearing in mind, he has drank, smoked, popped, snorted, injected, drank, I don't know, God knows what over the years. But he actually had his genome sequenced, whatever that means. And he had several gene variants that they'd never seen before. And they say that this is actually something to do with how his body copes with extra partying paraphernalia, shall we say.
Yeah, that is quite an interesting one. And I know obviously, with genes and DNA and stuff, it does, as you said earlier, throws in mutant genes when, like, with the environment that people are in, to make the young cope with that environment. So it makes you wonder what his mum was into.
Well, I was about to say that, because actually this has actually come from his mother, isn't it? His parents.
His great-grandparents.
Oh, his great-grandparents. Oh, my God. It's like a whole family of die-hard partiers that the body has decided to, like, evolve this mutant gene so they can cope with their lifestyle. Possibly. Who knows? Or it could just be a mutant. Or it could just be something that just popped up. Right?
Well, yeah, that's true.
You know? Because Elizabeth Taylor, now she had a mutant ability. I love this one. She actually had a double set of eyelashes. And it's called dystichia.
Yeah.
And it's basically your eyelashes grow in the wrong place on your eye. But with Elizabeth Taylor, it actually came out as a double set of eyelashes. So she didn't just have one. Nowadays, we pay fortunes for this treatment, everybody, is all I'm saying. You can get eyelashes stuck, you know, permanently, permanent eyelashes. You can get those. She had this in bucket loads all by herself. And that is actually what made her eyes so famous. Yeah. And the colour. She had beautiful eyes, did Elizabeth Taylor, didn't she? But this is because she actually had something known as dystichia.
Yeah, I don't think it's really a superpower, though.
Mate, don't underestimate the look of a female flutting her eyelashes at you. Don't underestimate it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, that's quite low down in the superhuman...
Oh, I wouldn't say so. There's a lot of ladies out there that can work those eyes.
She's never going to hit the comics, is she? You know, you've got like the Avengers and Superman and Spider-Man. Hello, what's your ability? I've got super eyelashes.
I can steal you with my beautiful gaze, kind of superpower. Yeah. Hypnotise you with my gaze. There must be a superhero that's got that ability. Something to do with their eyes.
Oh, well, other than Cyclops, I don't know.
Well, I don't know them, so anyway.
Cyclops is from X-Men. He shoots lasers from his eyes. Although I've not found one of them yet.
Well, we found one near to that, which was Elizabeth Taylor. We'll go with that, right?
Yeah.
Bit of a stretch.
I think that's a long stretch.
Right, where are we going next? How about the six-fingered sinker?
Oh, yeah, we'll skip that one and go to that one. Yeah, it's a former MLB relief pitcher, baseball, basically. Antonio Alfonsi something or other.
They're taking the mickey out. Oh, I've said something in the chat room now. They're taking the mickey out of my skeleton.
Oh, how dare they?
I know. That's my superpower, is making up words. Oh, dear. Yeah, anyway, back to Mr. Antonio Fonseca.
That's the one. Yeah, so I know you'd be better at that than me.
Actually, I don't think I said that right either. Let me try that again. Alfonseca. That's better.
Well, it worked either way, to be fair. His ability, well, I say ability, he just had like the little extra finger.
Mm. So did Anne Boleyn.
That's cheating.
Anne Boleyn had a sixth finger.
Yes, so she did. Yeah, I remember that one. I forgot that in the research though. Yeah, basically he was born with a rare genetic condition called what was that called, Kerry? I can't remember.
It's called polydactyl.
Yeah, that's what we go with. Which results?
It's called pterodactyl. Is what it's called. It is actually polydactyl. Yeah, it is. Yeah, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. Where was I? It was a result of the extra finger or toes, and yeah, look, there you go. It says about the octopus. In fact, El Pulpo, or the octopus, as he was also known, has an extra extremity on each hand and foot.
Ooh.
Yeah. But his balance was awesome.
I bet it was. His pitching ability was pretty damn good too.
Yeah, that's it. He literally had like the glove literally attached to his hand. But yeah, moving on from there to Unbreakable Bones.
Mm. Now this reminds me of that film.
Yeah, what was it called though?
Unbreakable.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there was a sequel to it as well, quite recently.
Wasn't it Glass or something like that?
Glass, that was it, yeah.
But this is the Bruce man in it, because there was one that broke at everything. You know, to touch something and he'd break, wouldn't he? And then you had the other one who didn't break at all. He just was like incredibly unbreakable.
Yin and yang.
Yeah.
That's it. Life balances out. Yeah, so let's see where we can go with that one. Members of an unnamed Connecticut family were found to suffer from the genetically linked condition, which resulted in significantly stronger and denser bones. Additionally, the bones appear to be resistant to age-related wear and have a sort of anti-osteoporosis. And that's pretty much all I found on that particular family. But it's an interesting one, especially as there's not much details about it.
That's the only trouble with that one is you can't. We couldn't find any verifiable sources. I'm sure there are, but for for what we did, we couldn't find any verifiable sources on that one. And also, I think with that one, you would actually have to look at timing of when that was released in regards to the film coming out, whether or not it was linked to that and someone just made that up. I don't know. It is a weird one though, but I don't see it being an impossibility.
No, exactly. I mean, yeah, you've got people out there with osteoporosis, so there's bound to be people out there with the opposite.
Oh, possibly. As I say, not being a medical person, I don't know.
And bones are quite resilient anyway, because some of the stronger bones in particular are hollow. Well, most of the bones are hollow, to be fair, and that's what gives them their strength and flexibility. So it's not, it's not.
Look at us being old doctor talking. Oh, so anyway, carrying on the doctor theme, let's go into the gay community when HIV ravaged it. HIV, horrible disease. But there was one man who never got sick with HIV, even though everybody around him was, suffering from this. Now, it is a disease that's passed through, fluid.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Bodily fluids.
And it is very delicate, actually. More delicate than people realise. So for this guy to be abnormal in this, and for him to say that, his boyfriends and acquaintances around him, he must have been engaging in exchange of bodily fluids. For him to be abnormal with this, because he could just be asexual and not actually partaking, even though he was around all these people, doesn't mean he wouldn't have caught it if he was just around them. He must have been engaging in exchange of bodily fluids. We're going with.
Yeah, so you're just assuming that it's a sexual thing. It's not though.
No, it isn't. That's why I'm going with body fluids. I know, that's why. Exactly, which is why I'm saying body fluids. I'm not saying sexual contact. Okay? But he must have been exchanging bodily fluids with these people to be abnormal in the fact that he didn't get HIV when other people around him were getting it. So I'm assuming the other people that were getting it around him were exchanging bodily fluids in some form or other with this man, with Stephen Crone. Because he never got it, right, and they did tests on him, and he was found to have a Delta 32 mutation, which actually is something that protects his CD4 white blood cells.
Yep.
Right, so this genetic change in his body, this mutation in his body, protected him from the HIV virus.
Yeah.
Right, now take that concept. He obviously was tested for HIV at one point.
Yep.
So he must have been worried he'd got it at one point, to be tested, to be found that he hasn't got it. And he's thinking, God, I've slept with all these people that have got HIV and I've not got it. And they found that this is, this mutation that he's got. But scientists, how great is that for scientists? Because they can go, wow. So that's something for us to build on in regards to research, so we can maybe look at a cure for whatever. It doesn't have to be HIV, but any disease. If you can find somebody who's got this mutation, that can push forward research for cures for these kind of problems or this disease.
Absolutely.
You know,
so with most diseases, they always look for patient zero, don't they, to try and get cures from their blood. But with this guy, they've found that he's got this Delta 32 mutation. So, you know, they can try and recreate his blood cells and, as you said, make the cure for HIV.
However they do that, I mean, it's very clever and, you know, whatnot, but
absolutely.
It's that side of things absolutely fascinates me, that these people are so individual in their genetic makeup, but could hold the key, and it's finding that person.
Absolutely.
That has that genetic mutation, isn't it?
But I mean, he was found, I would assume, accidentally.
Like I say, you could he probably went to the hospital, he probably had a bit cold, thought, God, I think I might have got HIV, I better go and get tested, I've been sleeping with all these people, they've all got it, gone to the hospital, no, you haven't got HIV. Well, hold on, I kind of slept with loads of people that have got it, you know, and a bit worried. So maybe that put them on to doing further tests on his genetic makeup, I don't know, but this is the great thing kind of thing, isn't it, about that, I think.
That's it, and as you said, it'd lead to scientific breakthrough as well, if it hasn't done already, because I'm not sure when that was released. So, yeah. And moving on very quickly, because we've only got like 9 minutes left.
Oh yeah.
Mark would like this one actually. I think very indicative of the Men in Black, and it's dubbed the immigration delay disease. And it's called, Kerry, what word's that? I know you like words.
You want to see the look I'm giving him with my laser eyes down the Skype at this moment in time. Adamatoglyphia.
That's it. It's absolutely spot on. It's a genetic condition that leaves the afflicted without fingerprints. How cool's that?
Great if she's a thief. She's a safe breaker. That's a great thing to have. Trying to get into another country, not quite so fun.
It makes you wonder whether or not some of these American governments actually find people that have got this and use them as spies and things like that.
Quite possibly. I put nothing past any government, to be fair. But does this then... Right, see, again, little thought pattern went on in my little head with this one. She's got no fingerprints on her finger, but you have toe prints too.
Yes.
Right, so you have the same on your toes as you do on your fingers, right? So
she hasn't got them on her fingers.
Has she got them on her toes? Because I was thinking about this. How many things you use fingerprint technology now? You can even use it on your computer to sign in, can't you?
You'd be knackered, wouldn't you?
Well, she could, like I said, there's an alternative. Maybe if it doesn't translate to her toes, she could have used her toe print. Here's my fingerprint. I'm just going to get my big toe out, everybody.
You saying that, though, the mobile phone that I've got does the eye retina scan.
Does it?
Yeah. So it can scan your eyes as well.
I always worry about that.
Well, I don't use it, I mean...
No, yeah. Anyway, I worry about that, because what if you get like really bad hay fever and you can't, your eyes all swollen?
I think the eye retina thing is literally just for people with this disease.
Actually, yeah, but how many people have got this disease? This is the problem. So we're calling it a disease. It's not a disease. It's a genetic condition. It's not a disease. Yeah. So,
disease.
But I wonder if she has to carry a doctor's letter, like confirming that she's got this condition.
Yeah.
Which is why she's got no fingerprints.
She hasn't got no fingerprints because she works for the government. That's where we go with that one.
Oh, okay, we go with conspiracy theory on that one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, I know Mark will love that, so we'll leave it there, I think.
He probably would take that and run.
No, we've literally come to the last 5 minutes of the show, so let's have a quick rundown of what's coming up for the rest of the week.
Okay, well, Penny is on tomorrow night on Haunted Histories. She is talking about Bromham Mill, which she did an investigation recently with the Paranormal Charity Warriors and or Sisters. Might be the Paranormal Sisters. She did it with those ladies anyway. So they're talking about the investigation and the history of Bromham Mill. Then on Thursday evening on PSH Radio, you've got Linda and Victor from the Seance Room show coming on to talk about all their side of things and people they've talked to on their show. Then on Friday, we're delving into the deep and dark world of subcults and gentlemen's clubs and stuff like that with the Illuminati. That's what we're talking about there. If you've missed any of our blogs, by the way, everybody, we all write some amazing blogs over on Parasearch Radio, and you can go to parasearch.org and check out our blogs.
Yep, parasearch.org/blog.
Yeah, we've got some great blogs up there. You've done one on time travel. There's ones on ESP. Penny loves to look at figures of history in her blogs, doesn't she?
She does, yeah. She does like a Heroes of History blog. So she picks like a different person each time. But I find them quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, I do as well.
She's got a new one that's not up yet.
Yeah, she did one about Marseille Marceau, didn't she?
Yeah.
You know, the mime artist. Absolutely. I didn't know his history, but that was fascinating.
It was, definitely.
Really good. And obviously mine. They're awesome. They're the best. They're amazing. Yeah, but no, go check them out because there's some absolutely fantastic blogs over there about all sorts of topics. Not necessarily things that we've even covered on shows, are they? You know?
No, that's it. There's plenty of information over there, even more than what goes on in the shows.
Even more. So go over there, check those out, guys. And don't forget, if you miss any of our shows, you can go over to YouTube, and if you click like, share and subscribe, then you will get notified every time a new show goes up. So there's no excuses to miss any of Parasearch Radio shows.
Exactly.
It's a whole back catalogue over there, guys. You can just listen to them on loop.
Especially the Paranormal Concept shows.
You can listen to all of the shows.
Yeah, seriously, all the shows are absolutely fantastic, and there's not many of them I miss, and I always go back at some point.
Going live at 9 PM every single night here on Parasearch Radio. Don't forget, this is the place to be for all topics and all things paranormal and the umbrella term it covers. And on that note, Paul?
Yeah, and on that note, we have come to the end of the show. We've only 2 minutes to spare.
We're not doing... We normally overrun, so...
Yeah, that's it. We're evening it out tonight, I think. That's where we go with this one. So I want to thank everyone that's been in the chat room tonight. Absolute pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, Kerry, for joining me as always. So it's a good night from me.
And it's good night from me.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.